Of VFL football.
It's an AFL umpire crew here today. Cam Jones with the first bounce, and we are underway as round 4 continues in Smithy's VFL. It's Cooper Keogh in ruck here for Coburg, and they will get the first clearance of the game as the ball is sent inside 50. Waitman outsized as he normally is. Then Jaff went in as well for Collingwood. And we're going to see a ball up here. Coburg have not played a game in the VFL in 23 days. That Good Friday loss, it was a heartbreaker. Dan, you were there up at Highgate against Williamstown.
I was. It was a draw with about 6 seconds left, and unfortunately it was a heartbreaker for Coburg.
Collingwood, in a similarly close game, got up against Carlton just 7 days ago. It's just their third game of the year as Cariliano, the skipper, goes inside 50, and Ernst is the target, but Magpies in front and behind him. Trudgeon got the crumbs and got tackled. He's been good since coming over from Box Hill.
Yeah, another player you mentioned there, young Caleb Ernst, the young man from Strathfield. Say, had a really good game, the first game I saw him against Williamstown. Certainly doesn't lack confidence, and he's got a big body.
Good to see such a healthy crowd here. Both teams represented well. We know the Collingwood Army is always going to come. Handy as well, given that the AFL side was in action yesterday. Good win against Port Adelaide there at the MCG. Repeat stoppage inside 50 for Coburg to start this one. All thrown up one more time. Keogh picking up, tries to get the hand pass out. Damon Smith, he gets spun in the tackle. Not getting out easily. Strong tackle by the former Saints, Jack Bytel. The non-controlling umpire has seen something here, Dan. Free kick Collingwood.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was against Hugo Bramell, who was the player in that tackle, but Collingwood have the free deep in defence.
It's ball in the hands of Campbell Lane. Now Markov. Finds himself in the VFL side at the moment, Oleg Markov. The kick will land on the wing, go over everyone's heads. Out the back here, the ball's picked up here by Patrick Farrant, and we will talk about him, Dan, as this game develops. He's making his debut for Collingwood today.
Oh, he's got an interesting story as Patrick Farrant.
So we will get stuck into that as the day goes on. Right now the ball is in the hands of Ed Allen. Collingwood's first inside 50 of the game, and it was a well-placed kick. Jack Hutchison, who had a good day against Carlton last week. Kicked 2 crucial goals in that game. He's too far out to score here, Hutchinson. So he'll go to the hot spot. A couple of flies, it'll come off hands. Damon Smith desperate to get it over the line. Had some help there as well through Donovan Tui. And Coburg are quick to rebound off half-back here. Bouncing ball picked up nicely by Walker. Now Bella. His kick needs to be careful. Plenty of Magpies in this vicinity. Hard work there for the Interno Sante. He then tries to lay the tackle on Jaff. He never actually had it. Picked it up late. Somehow the ball did come out. Strong tackle against the Interno Sante, but a dump tackle according to the umpire.
Yeah, that's a good decision. That is the rule now. And Interno Sante, that was that action, that slinging action, and a rewarded free kick to Charlie Dean.
And apologies, that was a dump tackle, a clear one. So right decision made there as Collingwood now look to work the outer side. Got the first win of the year last week against Carlton. This man was playing against his former team, Crocker.
Oh, he's caught one in the stomach region here as he went for the mark, and he's not in a great way, so might just take some time out, I think, here.
50-metre penalty as well. He admitted on the State of Play podcast this week with Joey Pignataro and Gemma Bastiani, Dan, that he spent last year's AFL Grand Final, that classic between Collingwood and Brisbane. He was sitting in Collingwood's cheer squad that day.
Well, he's
like a proud Collingwood nuff, as he said on the podcast.
He looks like the type of fella that might fit in to the cheer squad.
He's playing for the arch enemy, of course, at this level, Dan, last year. So Crocker, has he got the distance? He may do. It was touched.
And when I say that, I actually had a quick chat to him before the game, and he's the sort of guy that will give you the thumbs up and have a chat. So he's a guy that's got no airs and graces about him, is Ben Crocker.
Still plenty of love for the club that drafted him in 2015. As indicated by the fact he was in that Collingwood cheer squad at the MCG last September. Turnover here for the Pies. A couple of handballs. Jaff, no room in the right spot. Walker for Coburg, but the hand pass went to an under pressure Henry Brown. Coburg have worked it out okay. Walker again takes on the tackler. Hand pass came in board. Trudgeon didn't get a great kick away, but it will gain some meterage for Coburg. It's a hot start to this game right now. Carmichael gets it for Collingwood and kicked it straight into a teammate, Charlie Dean, not expecting it. Keogh over the top of it, but it runs away from him. Markov got the handball in board. Richards, he was under pressure as well. Jeez, it's hot in the kitchen right now at Piranha Park. A hard footy to win. It's worked its way to the middle of the ground, picked up by Gillard. He'll go with the low data inside 50, but away from Waitman. Easy pickings there for Glover, and Collingwood out of danger. Ball in the hands of Aidan Begg. Jaff's been busy early, takes on the tackler. Couldn't make the tackle stick there. Sarong kicked out toward Wilson.
Wow.
And big contact there with Cariliano. Wilson is not getting up here. No remonstrating. Looked like a fair contest. Wilson's a tough nut. We know that. He's up now.
Yeah, he's got the body of a rugby player, hasn't he, Tom Wilson? He's been around a while, and that was courage personified.
Played plenty of footy down the road at Kramer Street over the years. Tom Wilson, boundary throw in. There's plenty of Bullants connections in this Collingwood VFL setup as well, with Josh Fraser, of course, as Jaff goes up. Couldn't make that mark stick. Second effort from Jaff. He's done well. Nice sidestep, little kick over the top's good as well. McRae, hand pass off, ball ended up in the hands of Long, and he goes across the face.
Oh, he's someone I'm really looking forward to seeing today, is Chew Jarth. Watched him play some Coates Talent League footy last year, and he just came on towards the end of the season. His ability to rebound, his pace, his poise, he's going to be a player in my view.
Tui with the 1-2 with Cariliano, then went short to Brown. Collingwood with 3 behinds in this game. Brown's kick to the wing. Sitting underneath, going for a fly there. Bella couldn't take the mark. Jaff was at the front again. And great vision in board to go to Richards. Long ranger for Wilson. Wilson's just outside the arc. Then he goes across into the pocket. And the kick was great. And here he's the man that we want to talk about. Patrick Farrant on debut. Came across from WA. And he has kicked 14 goals in just 2 games for the Fitzroy Stars in the Northern League.
Well, he kicked 9 last week for the Fitzroy Stars. We've seen a contingent of Fitzroy Stars supporters walk through the gates just before the game, so they're here to support him. And if you're listening from Bridgetown in WA, which is about, I think about 280, 290 k's south of Perth, I think they'll be listening in to young Patrick Farrant.
His first shot at goal in Smithy's VFL will be one to forget, out of bounds on the full. Coburg ball. Tui just went over the head of Carmichael, but out the back was Markov. Oleg Markov chipping in board. Jaff's had a lot of the footy already in this game. Disposal number 4. Short pass for Carmichael. And there's a lead on offer. Carmichael's kick is placed exactly where it needed to be. And Joe Richards takes the mark.
Yeah, so they're peppering inside 50, the Pies. Haven't been rewarded as yet, but Joe Richards, who is a known goal kicker, young man. Well, he's not a young man really. He's a 24-year-old from Wangaratta. I think he was a school teacher when he got drafted by the Pies. And if you see some highlights of Joe Richards on YouTube, he was a bit of a young freak when he was playing for Wangaratta as a junior or as a young man.
10 goals 2 this season in Smithy's VFL. Collingwood's kicked 3 behinds and 1 on the full so far today. That's now 4 behinds and 1 on the full. One of 3 games today in Smithy's VFL, all live and free on afl.com.au, AFL Live app as well. Cariliano, option in the pocket. Mazingo Dammer-Smith. That has to be one of the great names in Smithy's VFL. Dammer-Smith out toward Keogh. Couldn't take the mark. Keogh done well, the local product out of the EDFL. Goes in board. The kick didn't quite reach Bailey. He's now got a job to do. 2 Magpies over him. High ball kick there by Sarong. Underneath Jath. He was looking into the sun. Couldn't take the mark. And it falls out of play.
Well, you mentioned Ingo Dammer-Smith and his name, but even more interesting for me is the fact he played Oscar Scully in Neighbours when he was a boy. Not many child actors gracing the VFL
Hollywood
parks
name.
at the moment, yeah.
Hollywood name, Hollywood credentials. Boundary throw in. I didn't know that, Matt. Dan, thank you very much. Thank you very much for providing that one.
If you want any useless information, come and see me.
That was a good one. I was not aware of that. And this ball is, well, it was a good effort by Jack Hutchinson to try to keep it in play. But the Coburg pressure arrived.
Yeah, Coburg are really struggling to get the ball past their half-forward line, Jaff and Markov and Charlie Dean just waiting to pick off the entries.
Liam Purcell in ruck here against Cooper Keogh. Coburg ball around the corner kick from Brown. Wasn't looking where he was going. Easy pickings there for Dean. Charlie Dean, another ball inside 50 here for Collingwood. Early jump at the ball, might not have been a realistic attempt, or perhaps Farrant was the one infringed upon. It is going to come back to Farrant. But the mark is right on 50, and right now he is lining up. It's been a sensation for the Fitzroy Stars in the Northern Football League. He's going to take on the man on the mark. Farrant gets onto the left. It's a helicopter sort of ball. Oh. It's going to land in the pocket. Wow. Whistle goes as the marking contest took place there. Coburg free kick on the last line of defence. And they'll run out of D50. Looking for the handball option was Galvin. They're trying to work it out by hands here. No kick just yet. McKenzie turning and looking for the next target. Galvin again. Hand pass goes down the line. No one there in a Coburg jumper. It gains some territory. And it is insufficient intent according to umpire Brent Wallace. Free kick Collingwood on the outer wing.
Yeah, just on the back of excellent pressure by the Collingwood team at the moment. Coburg being forced into a number of unforced errors here. Just got to keep their head.
Right now we're looking at Jack Bytel. Came across from St Kilda. Played plenty of footy at this level with Sandringham. And it lands in the pocket. How does it fall here? Coburg need to get numbers to it, and they do. Hand pass came to Rigoni in toward the middle of Piranha Park, and then it's volleyed up in the air by Glover. Well, he travelled the 15 too. That would have been paid a mark if someone had have caught that ball. We're near the circles, umpire letting it go. What a crowd here today at Piranha Park. First true home game of the season for Coburg, and the Collingwood Army is well represented as well, Dan.
Well, they're still coming in. I'm looking to my right, and there's a queue of about 20, 30 people. I even see Brendan McCartney there in the queue, the Western Bulldogs senior coach.
Was there a little shove there? The mark is taken and paid. McDonald.
Yeah, really like Cooper McDonald's story. Rowville premiership player. He told me it was the best day of his life before the game. And he certainly looks really composed in terms of when the ball's in the air. I liked his game last week versus Carlton. Probably a couple of kicking errors, which he'd like to fix up, but certainly doesn't look out of place at this level. For Cooper McDonald.
Sorry, the three leading ball getters on the ground right now. All Lions, Walker, Trudgeon and Tui, all with 5 each. For Collingwood, Richards, McRae, Jaff and Carmichael all have 4. Free kick Pies here. Purcell a little slow to get up. Free kick to be taken by Sparks out toward Wilson. Off hands, out of bounds.
So looking really dangerous entering their 50-metre arc. It's Collingwood 7 inside 50s. They kicked 4 behinds, and they've also had 2 non-scores, one out on the full and one that didn't make the distance. So every time it's getting into 50, they're having a scoring opportunity. They just haven't converted.
Working hard, Gentili. Coburg will get the clearance. It'll land in the pocket again, and McDonald can't take the mark. Waitman there for company. Glover trying to find a way through. Dump the ball back out, but it's just a bit of a game of kick to kick right now. Markov now has it for Collingwood.
Yeah, I think if Coburg are going to continue to just dump the ball in, they're going to be picked off all day, so they need to find another method to be able to get reward for their efforts into 50.
Fourth disposal there for Markov. Something happens in the marking contest. It might be advantage paid for Collingwood. It's going to go all the way to the square. Surely this is the first goal of the game, and it is finished by Crocker.
Yeah, they were just able to get behind their Coburg opponents there and Ben Crocker's eyes lit up. I think it was Patrick Farron again who kicked the ball into 50. Gee, hasn't he had a good start? Hasn't looked out of place at the level. We should note some of the changes for Collingwood in that Harvey Harrison and Lockie Sullivan, the absolute ball magnet who was picked up from Footscray and now on Collingwood's list, they are not playing, and we'd imagine that would be some sort of insurance or holdover for that short break that Collingwood AFL have had between Saturday and the Anzac Day clash.
Just looking around the grounds, Dan, as well. We had a draw earlier today in Smithy's VFL. Sydney and Gold Coast 60 apiece. The final score there, curtain raiser at the SCG. Carlton take on Port Melbourne. A game that's kicking off in about 40 minutes from now. High contact free kick, Coburg.
He's a ball magnet, is Joel Trudgeon.
They've nearly made a mess of this. Keogh had the long-range handball option out wide, picked up by Sarong. They go inside 50 again. Waitman's the target, Dan, and he's the smallest guy out there.
He is. He did kick 4 goals against Williamstown a couple of weeks ago, including some freakish goals in that last quarter, but he's probably not the guy you want to be putting the ball on top of his head, is Kyle Waitman. He'd probably be about 5'6", 5'7", perhaps.
It took 2 Magpies, nearly 3, to bring Galvin down there, Dan.
He's a big man. He looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger as Reece Galvin, number 37 for Coburg.
Tree trunks for legs that he's got. So Coburg on the outskirts here. The Interno Sante. There's your reply for Coburg. They had to work hard for it, but they're finally on the board.
Now, Josh Dintinasante, he has a happy knack of kicking Coburg's first goal. I've seen them many a time, and Josh often starts the game well, and he has, once again, the little number 7 for Coburg. Probably didn't have his greatest year last year. He only kicked 7 goals in his 10 games, and probably not the return he would have liked. I think he missed 1 or 2 games in that he didn't get selected, but he started the season well this year.
Just his second goal of the year. It's only Coburg's 3rd game there. I know they played the academy game last week, Dan, but Good Friday was their last game in the VFL. So for VFL games, it's a 23-day break versus a 7-day break out here today. Been a long time since we've seen Coburg in action here. There was obviously a bye and a state game all in there. 23 days between drinks in the VFL for the Lions, and they're going to go inside 50 again as Henry Brown takes a bounce, then unselfishly went over the top. Will Bella, is he thinking about goal? No, he wants to centre it. There's a couple of options there that could have marked it. Ball came to ground. What's the umpire seen here? High contact, Coburg free kick. Ben Rigoni to claim it.
And this is on the back of some really competitive work in the middle of the ground for Coburg. Hugo Bramell, who I mentioned earlier, and also Luke Bailey, number 1. He's a bit of a hard nut inside midfielder. Be a good contest for them against some of Collingwood's experienced midfielders, in Finn McRae and guys like Josh Carmichael.
Rigoni's kick will not be a goal. It'll land in the arms. No mark paid. Umpire put the arms up straight away. Will Bella thought he had it. Someone must have touched it first.
Yeah, he's a competitor as Will Bella. Young man who was at the Gold Coast Sun for a little while, but you'll get 100% effort from him all day.
Long did a full 360 before dumping back out, but the mark taken by Walker. He's been good, Lockie. Walker, disposal number 7. Goes back toward the goal square. It's going to be punched toward the line here. How does it bounce, though? Bounced dangerously initially there for Bailey as Collingwood dumped back out once more.
Well
Richards couldn't take the mark. Tui came from behind, but a little bit late. Arm chop free kick.
And good body positioning here from Joe Richards. Only a small man, but that was really impressive.
Collingwood football here. Ryan Sparks has averaged 18 disposals in his 3 games so far in the VFL this year. This is Lane. Jaff's had a fair bit of it already. Disposal number 5. Careful build up here from Collingwood. Ned Long. 28 touches against Carlton last week. Back to Jaff. The land's about 30 out from home here for Collingwood. Ash Johnson from behind couldn't take the mark. Emerging with the ball. Quick shot at goal. It's going to go through. Good crumbing goal by Josh Carmichael for Collingwood.
He sunk the slipper into that one, did Josh Carmichael. But that build-up, you mentioned it was a patient build-up by Collingwood. Now, if you remember Collingwood 10, 15 years ago when they were playing under Mick Malthouse, they used to crib the ball along the boundary line. But this Collingwood side, they tend to go through the middle as often as they can. So you won't see too many balls along the wings today. At every opportunity, they'll just bring the ball back through the middle of the ground. And that's where Coburg have just got to be on their game just to make sure they don't give them easy passages to play through the corridor.
There are 11 AFL listed Magpies out here, including Will Parker. Fresh off his cricketing exploits now, taking his place in the Collingwood lineup today. Back in the middle. In ruck for Coburg at the moment is Sam Grant. We'll have to go. No, umpire says free kick. He was crossing his arms there. It's in fact a free kick going Coburg's way. And a low kick inside 50, and here he is. Sam Grant in just his second appearance for Coburg.
And really smart kick by Flynn Gentili, number 4 for Coburg. Local product here, played in the Essendon District Football League. And he's a smart user of the footy. Lowered his eyes there and was able to hit his forward.
Coburg's first goal came only 2 minutes after a Collingwood goal. Could we see the same thing happen here again? Rather casual sort of approach to goal. Umpire lost her hat on the way through. It has gone through. First goal for young Sam Grant.
Well done to Sam Grant. Has the basketball background, Sam Grant. I think he spent 4 years playing college basketball. So we see a number of players making the transfer from basketball to AFL. And you talked about Will Parker as well, number 45 for Collingwood. He's made the transition as a gun cricketer. He's now a Category B rookie for Collingwood. You'll probably see him more in defence today, Will Parker. But look, you probably think that Collingwood have had more of the play, but yet on the scoreboard it's only a 4-point deficit at the moment. 6 scoring shots to 2, but only that 4-point lead.
Grant came off after kicking that goal, got replaced by this man, Keogh, who contests the ruck against Begg. Coburg's been good at centre clearance so far today, and they'll go forward once more. Gillard's kick into the pocket, good vision. It can't have been Gillard's kick because he was the one that marked it. Apologies for that one, Gillard on the 45 here.
Well, you mentioned the clearances, Adam, at 8-5 Coburg's way, so really impressive in that they're competing, particularly at centre clearance.
We get a very good look at the trajectory of this kick. If it goes through for 6, Dan, Coburg is in front. And that's not bad.
Oh, wow.
That's very, very good indeed. Coburg leads Collingwood at Piranha Park.
So that's really impressive for mine because you're playing against some good bodies, some AFL bodies, and Finn McRae and Ed Allen and Carmichael, these sort of guys. So they're up for the fight of the Coburg midfield at the moment. Jack Bytel as well. He's no mug as a midfielder, an inside mid. Look at Hugo Bramell. He's a big-bodied mid. Luke Bailey, number 1 for Coburg. His DNA is finding the ball in close. So I'll just be really interested to see what happens here.
2 in a row for the Lions, and they lead Collingwood. Keogh against Begg. It bounces into Keogh's hands, looking for the handball option. Did go to Bramell as Coburg again get the clearance for inside 50 once more. Gillard was waiting at the back. The Intino Sante tackled immediately, and the umpire said that was an improper tackle. Committed by Campbell Lane, and in the exact same spot that Braden Gillard goaled from moments ago. Now the ball is in the hands of Josh Dinton-Osante, who already has one today.
Probably just had to be a little bit smarter there, Campbell Lane, and just rolled the body there on Josh Dinton-Osante.
He's going for his second. He's giving himself a decent run up as well. So this is for 3 in a row for Coburg. Dinton-Osante to give the Lions an 8-point lead. That kick is off the side of the boot. Sam Glover waits for it to come back from the crowd. Good game of footy, this one at Piranha Park so far. The big man flew, but no one took the mark. Coburg ball here. Rigoni goes inboard, and then Gentili sends him inside 50. Ernst, can he find the handball option just away from McKenzie? McKenzie would have had a good look at goal there. Ernst did well to recover. And then Keogh, he got tackled immediately by Bytel. Ball dumped out by Glover, and a diving mark taken. A brave effort as well, taking some contact. Was Donnie Tui. Wilson was on the receiving end as well. In fact, that might be Harry Kennedy for Collingwood. He's a little worse for wear. Some bravery all round there. Ernst just slips through his hands. Still a chance maybe for Coburg. They are getting repeat entry at the moment, and the Collingwood backline is under a fair bit of pressure.
Yeah, we were a little critical of them early, Coburg, in that they had a number of entries and just didn't look like scoring, but the last 4 or 5 times they've gone in, they've kicked the 3 goals and missed another.
Ernst being tackled by Glover. It's a little closer to goal. Coburg with the last 2, lead it by 2 points. Perfect day for football, not a breath of wind here at Piranha Park as the ball is thrown up. Keogh grabs it out of the ruck, tried to handball out to Bailey. It was stolen by McRae. Kick didn't go far. Richards, he lost it in traffic. Turnover and a high right foot toward goal from Tui. Hits the behind post.
Gee, Cooper Keogh's been really impressive for mine, the big ruckman from Coburg, number 29. He's been able to outbody and outmaneuver Aiden Beggar on a number of occasions here. Conversation between field and boundary umpires here. Field umpire Paul Rebashini's done plenty of VFL footy over the years. It's confirmed to be a Collingwood ball.
So Paul Rebashini, he's the ex-Frankston player, I believe.
Well, I know they had a Rebashini playing.
Here's an AFL umpire crew out here today for the fieldies. 4 umpire set up as well, and hearing from a couple of field umpires, they love the four-man system or the 4 umpire system. A lot less running apparently. Easier on the legs for the officials in green.
Well, we
high
see,
contact free kick here.
We see a number of ex-players now entering the umpire ranks. I know we see Andre Gianfagna at AFL level. He was listed an AFL listed player for some time.
Carmichael saw something he liked inboard. Dean kept on going. Dean's kick is low, and it's okay for Richards. He's been good in this third quarter. Joe Richards slips over as he wanted to play on. Then got his kick out in time. Had the poise to recover from that little slip. And Ned Long gets a look at goal to give Collingwood back the lead.
So once again, we talk about bringing the ball through the middle of the ground. And Charlie Dean was set up there for that kick. It was a dangerous kick, but they're prepared to bite off more than they can chew sometimes, the Pies. So Coburg, you've just got to watch that.
So this kick decides who leads at quarter time. Ned Long. It will be Collingwood's 5th behind, and Coburg leads by a point at quarter time. After an entertaining first quarter at Piranha Park, 3 straight 18 Yeah, Coburg dominating the stat sheet right now. Trudgeon had 10 in the first quarter, Tui 9, Walker 7. As the second quarter gets underway, non-controlling umpire sees an early free kick. And umpires from a long way away paying that one to Coburg. It's going to go Trudgeon's way. Inside 50 immediately. These Lions have been dominant out of the middle so far, albeit that time from a free kick. Bella has the ball for the Lions.
Now that's a big win for Coburg because traditionally they've been a team that hasn't been able to take many marks inside of their 50 with their key position players. So a big win for Will Bella here, and if he convert, it'll be an even bigger win.
2 goals, 2 so far this year for Will Bella. Right foot ball is just skewing to the right a little too much.
So looking at the Coburg Tools, they've got Sam Grant, Will Bella, and the young man from Strathfield Say, Caleb Ernst, as their tall options.
This is a bad kick in, turnover. Tom Rowland. So Collingwood committing the mistake. And Coburg get another look at a deep entry. Rowland will set it to the hot spot.
Oh!
Coming very late was Keogh, no mark taken. Last line of defence for Glover. His short kick is okay for Bytel. And Collingwood out of danger.
Only the 2 disposals in the first quarter, 2 to Jack Bytel. So he'll be looking to add to that.
This is number 6 coming up for Finn McRae.
Oh!
High contact, free kick will go Collingwood's way. It's Lane. Short one down the line for Bytel. Affecting the contest late. Actually doing pretty well there with the 1-2 was Hutchinson. Has shown a bit so far this year. Markov and just missed Richards by hand, who tried to play some soccer. Kick didn't really go that far, and it's a neutral footy. Strong tackling pressure once more there as well. The fumble at the crucial moment there by Rowlands, but it did end up in Coburg hands anyway. Trudgeon went high. Glover had his teammates saying hold, 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 and he took the relieving mark and goes back into the corridor for Lane. Bytel, the turn and go. Jack Bytel, local product here from the VFL area as well. And Farrant with some fancy stuff, got the handball out. Chance here for the Pies as the little kick comes in board now, bouncing into Coburg hands. Tui gave out the quick handball. The kick out wide now by Bramell out toward the outer wing. Didn't take a good bounce from the Coburg perspective. Little indecisive Bytel, eventually did go by hand, and Lane back out toward Farrant territory. Had 2 Lions there to deal with and easily dealt with by Dammersmith. He goes down the line. Affecting contest Grant, who kicked his first goal in Coburg colours in the first quarter.
So a bit of back and forth at the moment. The ball zinging between the arcs here. I just feel like we talk about Coburg's ball use. A number of times they were picked off in that first quarter. They're just going to make sure as the game goes on and their legs get tired, fatigue sets in, that they're really careful with the way they move the ball past the centre.
Collingwood free kick here on the outer wing.
Something's happened off the ball here, I think.
We've had a reversal. So now Gentili claims it for Coburg. Bramell goes for a run. Inside 50, just got caught behind there. No mark could be taken by Brown. Again, desperate defending Magpies. Glover's handball ended up in the wrong hands, but can Coburg pounce? Gillard got taken to ground. Magpies had numbers, just lines up across there, and it's all going to work out okay. Sparks runs into trouble. And a ball up. Just hard to generate some clean passages of possession for Collingwood at the moment. I know Coburg's winless, Dan. We've only seen a quarter and a bit today, but it looks like a very improved lineup that Jamie Cassidy-McNamara has at his disposal this year for the Lions. Their first true home game of the season. And their pressure game's been good here, although Collingwood get away with it. Markov with the handball to Allen.
Well
Ernst came and took it away from him. They get it moving quickly, Coburg. McKenzie. Tui. Got around Carmichael. Low ball into the pocket. It will stay in play. Handball for Rowland. In the shades of the tree there in the pocket. Little kick. Didn't go that far. There was actually no one there for Coburg. He set Bella a bit of a task. And Collingwood forced the boundary throw in.
Well, once again, Caleb Ernst, you're only playing your second game at the level. But the physicality and the confidence to make that tackle, he certainly just come in and played the game on his merits as Caleb Ernst.
Keogh grabbing it out of the ruck, has to get the hand pass out. McKenzie, kick will go across the face of goal and be punched through for the rush behind by Glover.
I guess the point I make is sometimes a younger guy, it takes a little bit of time to find their feet at the level, but he's just gone at it like a bull at a gate.
Lane to Will Parker, the former cricketer, down the line. Allen. First time we've really seen Will Parker have an impact on the game, Dan.
I think that might have been his first disposal.
Sparks. One of 12 of the VFL listed Magpies out here today. McRae. This is a better build-up from Collingwood. Carmichael grabs it well. It'll land in the hot spot. Crocker goes up.
Whoa.
And it's probably gone over the line.
Did Richards
get a goal, maybe?
Sorry,
this
that's Hutchinson. Wow.
I don't know how that was a goal, but somehow Collingwood get one.
The Coburg players are protesting their case to the goal umpire there, but maybe Jack Hutchinson just got a hint of leather on that. I was more looking at Ben Crocker, who is able to use his body, and he's taken a number of marks last week, just sitting behind his opponent and being able to outbody him with his hips, but well defended by Coburg, but they weren't able to kill the ball over the line, and Jack Hutchinson is, well, we think he's got a hint of leather on that. Either way, it's a Collingwood goal, and they're now 3 points ahead.
Yeah, it's officially confirmed. He's got his first for today. 6th for the season. And Collingwood back out by 3 points. We've seen a couple of lead changes in this game so far. Umpire Brett Wallace. Good bounce to restart play. Nearly jumped there by Purcell against Keogh. Wrapped up was Bromell. Purcell got first hands on the ball. Bromell wrapped up by Ned Long. We go one more time. Still inside the centre circles. It is trapped right in the middle of the ground here.
I know I've given him a rap already, the ruckman for Coburg, Cooper Keogh, but I just like his follow-up work, his physicality, and gets another free kick again there.
Bailey's the one that goes deep inside 50. Waitman tried to bring that ball down and couldn't. The Internet Sante's kick is smothered by Markov, who then chases his own smother. Oleg Markov gets onto the right boot. And in the right position was Purcell to take the mark for Collingwood. Saw something he liked on the outer wing. Wilson had to shield his eyes from the sun. Now Farron in toward Crocker. That's a bit cleaner from Collingwood.
Yeah, they've looked really dangerous on the slingshot. Have Collingwood on the Coburg turnover. Looking back in the 50, some of the Collingwood forwards are getting time and space on their defenders.
He rushed his kick in, brought there Crocker, and Sarong came across to affect it. Now Crocker has to follow up. Free kick Coburg. Ryan Sturgis with the footy. Dammer Smith. Back to Sturgis. They're running across the face. This is a dangerous game for the Lions. Johnson couldn't make the tackle stick. Gillard, but beaten to the ball there by Parker. And he gets the free kick, Will Parker.
Yeah, really impressive attack on the football in that contest by Will Parker.
Parker quick to get his kick inside 50, but there was no one there that could really mark it. Rowlands will be tackled by both Carmichael and Wilson.
Looks like he's playing a small defender role, Will Parker, in his first game.
Kennedy to tackle. He and Wilson look very similar. They've got similar jumper numbers as well. Dan, that's confusing me a little bit.
Solid men. One number 53 and the other number 56. I think
not overly tall as well. They do look very similar, those
Tom
two.
Wilson has got a few years on him though, hasn't he? There we go. He's got another free kick.
Keogh's been good. He had 6 disposals in the first quarter. Came across from North Melbourne.
Well done.
He's played locally for Strathmore recently as well.
Ooh.
50-metre penalty, encroachment on the mark. Rowland was coming onto the bench, and the umpire said he got too close to the ball carrier. Parker will be brought within scoring range.
So we spoke at the break that Will Parker hadn't touched the ball at quarter time. He's had some real impressive moments in the first 10 minutes of this second quarter, particularly in the air. I like the way he attacks the ball in the air. And, well, he might be a back pocket or a small defender. Let's see how he goes shooting for goal.
So this for 2 in a row for Collingwood. Oh. And that kick is precise. Pies by 9 at Piranha Park.
They're happy for him. His Collingwood teammates getting around him, and isn't that a great feeling? Probably as good a feeling as bowling a googly and getting one through the gate as Will Parker knew how to do in his junior cricketing career. Now he's on the scoreboard, and Collingwood starting to get reward for effort, out to a 9-point lead.
Around the grounds, a draw earlier today between Sydney and the Gold Coast Suns. Carlton will play Port Melbourne in a game that will start in 10 minutes from now. Round 4 action in Smithies VFL.
Gee, we've had some close games in the Smithies VFL this week. We've had a 3-pointer, a 1-pointer, a draw.
There were 2 1-pointers last Sunday as well. Collingwood won that against Carlton, and then North Melbourne beat Brisbane by points as well. Saw Brisbane go down in a close one again. Yes, that's 3 weeks in a row where Brisbane have played in a close one. As again, Coburg get the clearance here. They are smashing Collingwood in the centre clearances area. And young Flea finally gets a look at goal, Kyle Waitman.
For those who haven't seen Kyle Waitman play, he is the son of the ex-Richmond superstar known as the Flea, Dale Waitman, but he's also quite competent in the air for a small fellow.
He's Cooper Keogh's Strathmore teammate in the Essendon District as well. Waitman's kick is missing.
Kicked the 4 goals in his last game. One of those was from an unbelievable out-body mark for a man of small stature.
2-on-1 here on the outer side, but a difficult one for Sarong to try to control in the air. Umpire Cam Jones calls for the ball up.
And you mentioned the Coburg's competitiveness, and we know they didn't win a game last year, Adam, but gee whiz, they were competitive. Sometimes when you look at 0-18 teams.
Bailey going deep once more, and Glover read it well in flight.
Oh, what's happened here?
Free kick, Coburg for a push, and Caleb Ernst should bring them back within a kick.
Yeah, as I was saying, when you're a 0-18 team, you think some of the margins would be, blowouts, but Coburg last year in so many of their games were ultra competitive, and they just weren't able to get across the line.
Kicked 1 goal against Williamstown at Highgate a couple weeks ago.
He's got a bit of an ungainly run-up too, and a kicking action as Caleb Ernst, so just watch this one.
It's a 2-point ball game at Piranha Park. Both teams exchanging goals at both ends. A good game of footy.
They're really challenging the experienced Collingwood defenders, are these Coburg forwards in Balla and Ernst. Not having it all their own way is Sam Glover and Charlie Dean. Something to think about, because traditionally Coburg have been a team that when the ball's on the ground in their 50, they look really dangerous. Not so much in the air for mine, but Will Bella's taken a mark, young Waitman's taken a mark, and then another free kick to Caleb Ernst. So it looks like they've added some competitive tall forwards to their list.
The numbers for Joel Trudgeon right now, Dan, 14 disposals, 4 inside 50s, 4 clearances. He's also earned 3 free kicks. He's got the ball here, but he's taken to ground. Won't be able to do much with that.
Yeah,
He's had it on a string so far.
Yeah, Trudgeon and Bromell both coming from other VFL clubs and now getting their opportunity. Bromell from Footscray and Trudgeon, I think he was at Box Hill last year. He's played at Carlton as well.
Jaff had a good first quarter, gets his hands on it here. Hand pass then goes out wide from Bartel to Lane. Kennedy. The Pies looking for a quick response! What a fly that was!
Got some tricks, as Jack Hutchinson, Adam.
That may well be a Mark of the Year contender. Already has a goal to his name in this second quarter to instantly restore an 8-point lead for Collingwood. Hutchinson gets it done.
What is it with these boys from Gippsland Way, Adam? Young Hutchinson from Wonthaggi and Ryan Sparks also from Wonthaggi. But, gee, I know he's already had some interest and he's been talked about a little bit as Jack Hutchinson of potentially going to the next level. But he just attracts the ball, doesn't lack confidence, he's clean. He can get up the ground as well. He's a nice size. He's reasonably good looking. Gee, he's got a lot of things going for him.
What a grab that was. It is goal for goal at Piranha Park. Plenty of action at both ends of the ground. Good bounce to restart play. Begg did win that tap down, but going nowhere. There's actually a player out there for Collingwood in a number that we don't quite have on our team sheet there, Dan. We'll try to sort that one out if we can as we go inside 50. Bromell here for Coburg. Markov will receive it. The kick out toward this near side is going to be picked off by Sturgis. Sturgis comes off his line. Big fly again. Glover coming across the front of the pack. No mark taken. It was quickly sharked there by Brown. He sent a high one toward goal. 7-point ball game. Campbell Lane with the footy here for the Magpies. Begg underneath this ball. Farron's going to come late as well. Farron actually stayed down, then got skittled by it. Bromell's been good. Hand pass out toward Rowland. Took a while just to pop up into his hands and had the pressure coming as soon as he did get it. Non-controlling umpire saw some high contact. Free kick going Bromell's way.
This is where they've really added to their stocks over summer and their big-bodied midfielders, Coburg.
Big fly, Ernst couldn't take the mark. How does it bounce at the back of the pack? They're desperate to try to get the ball over the line. Collingwood, Allen got that job done.
They had some lighter bodies in their midfield last year and they struggled a little bit there, but now with Bromell and Trudgeon in the side, they're able to really compete the stoppages.
Markov to Glover to Willis. Now Allen. One goal in this game. That was Coburg's losing margin against Williamstown on Good Friday. Couple of handballs. Grant. Trudgeon gets another touch. Waitman saw something he liked out wide, but the kick wasn't placed where it should have been, and Willis gets it back for the Magpies. This is Sparks. Markov asking for the ball in. Border kicks just a little overcooked, and waiting for it out the back was Brown, who's been good. Ernst had space in 50.
Well, their strength was their weakness there, Collingwood. They've been excellent by foot so far, but then just a silly little turnover there. I was going to say that I think Coburg need to protect those mark kick style of play from Collingwood, those uncontested marks, and they were able to get away with one there through a turnover.
This is a long run up for Caleb Ernst. If he kicks this goal down, the score's a level.
This is a longer run up than Graham Dilley in the 1982 Ashes series by Caleb Ernst.
7 years before I was born, Dan. I'll take your word for it.
Might have been 81.
Ernst, that kick's not going to register 6. It's going to be marked on the line, in fact, and Collingwood can rebound from the last line of defence. Johnson, who you mentioned, Dan, did not have a touch in the first quarter.
I actually don't mind this. Ash Johnson has been struggling of late, even though he had his opportunities last week. Kick the 3 behinds. Just make it something a little bit different for him and get him into the game.
Crocker did well there. And now Markov. Disposal number 11 for him. Jaff, the kick might not have gone 15. Farrant won't get to the ball. In front was Sturgis for Coburg. Beasley. They want to use the outer side here. Walker. Now Dammersmith. Oh, sorry, Sarong it should be. He's gone over the top and down the line. Gentili. Waitman coming from behind to try to affect it against Glover. The umpire's paid the free kick. He was pointing the wrong way there. We'll go Glover's way.
Yeah, he's been excellent so far, the captain, Sam Glover, the 27-year-old. Played a lot of his time here at Collingwood forward, but he just looks so dependable in the back line.
Farrant's not going to get to that ball. In front position, Walker. Inboard for Tui. They want to switch it. Rowland has had plenty of it in this second quarter. Goes for a Sunday stroll at half-back. Took a casual bounce before going down the line. And Henry Brown takes a good, strong chest mark. Back to Walker. Disposal number 10. Now it's Coburg playing some tempo footy. Sturgis. Kicked it to a 2-on-1. It's going to beat everyone. Dean stretched but couldn't get it. Out of play it goes.
Yeah, so it's that next kick into the 50 which can be Coburg's issue at time. Nearly picked off there again, but I'd say that's a win for them. The ball hitting the ground and getting a stoppage in their forward 50.
Wonderful turnout here at Piranha Park. Coburg versus Collingwood in Smithy's VFL, and a good tight contest. Rowland, his kick is beautiful. And Flea Jr. gets another look at a goal here.
So he's had some really impressive moments as Tom Rowland, number 31 for Coburg in the last few minutes here. I was a little critical of his disposal against Williamstown, but his ability to pierce through the Collingwood defence there and hit the small man in Kyle Waitman.
Kick 4 goals 2 against Williamstown on Good Friday. This kick needs to come back to the left. It doesn't. 5-point ball game at Piranha Park.
Something about that end of the ground. There's been 11 behinds kicked to the gymnasium or the leisure centre side of the ground.
Does feel like the wind is just picking up a little bit as well at the moment. Umpire's going to stop play. Free kick for Coburg as Collingwood tried to clear out. Cariliano will go short to Braden Gillard. Hand pass off. Bromell decided not to shoot. Instead went for Ballard. No mark taken there. Ball comes to ground. Waitman, right foot snap at goal. This
Smithy snag!
Coburg back in front. And Kyle Waitman finally has his first goal of the game.
Well, he's had his opportunities from set shots as Kyle Waitman, and unfortunately on 2 occasions wasn't able to hit the scoreboard with a 6-pointer, but then I think you might be seeing that on the Smithy Snag highlights this week, Adam.
Well, hopefully. There's been some good goals that have been missed, I think, by some of those socials during the year, but that was a good one.
Please put all complaints in writing to management. But now they've hit the lead here, Coburg, by 1 point. It's been a competitive game. The ball's been zinging up and down and the scoreboard's been changing. The spectators are certainly getting their money's worth today here at Piranha Park.
Yeah, yet another lead change here. It was Coburg by a point at quarter time. And they've actually kicked 2 goals 6 in this second quarter, Dan. It was Collingwood who were wayward in the first quarter, holding free kick, and you might count that as a rare Collingwood centre clearance. McRae goes inside 50. Was there a push there? Umpire said no. Wilson went to ground. Farrant picked up the ball, tried to handball out in the direction of Hutchinson. He took a great mark earlier in the quarter. Ball up.
Just a reminder that Harvey Harrison and Lockie Sullivan have come out of this team. So a little bit diluted in terms of AFL representation.
There's a whistle here. Dump tackle. Umpire paid the advantage there to Bailey. Rowlands had a very good second quarter. Ernst got rid of his man. Ball bounced for Gillard. And Henry Brown's had it on a string as well. His kick into the middle just made things a little hard there for Rigoni, but Ernst now emerges. Hand pass comes off to Gentili. Coburg going for another goal here. Champagne stuff from the Lions and a shot at goal for Sam Grant. He's going for his second.
So Flynn Gentili again, his ability just to be composed, lower his eyes and hit his targets, just a big tick for him. But Caleb Ernst, I mean, he's been in the VFL system for 5 minutes and he just looks so at home. His running capacity as well looks A-grade, his physicality. He's someone who's a watch for me in future games, is Caleb Ernst.
Sam Grant kicked his first goal in Coburg colours in the first quarter. And now they have 2 in a row. And they lead by 7 points.
So actually, Sam Grant, he might have been the recipient of 2 of Flynn Gentili's kicks into the 50, so he might be buying him a can of Smithies after the game. They're out to a 7-point lead towards the end of this second quarter. They're actually starting to get on top here, Coburg.
Well, we're starting to see the new and improved Coburg. They've topped up their list nicely.
They've always been a team who's been able to transfer the ball from one end of the ground to the other quickly, and they switch the play. They've always been able to do that. It's just their ability to hit the scoreboard and also be super competitive at the stoppages. But they've addressed that.
Paul Ribashini gets things restarted here. All of a sudden, Collingwood need the next goal. McRae, high wobbler. It was Walker against Kennedy and easily picked up by Gentili. Running into trouble though there, and the turnover did come from Galvin, but Gentili does get it back for Coburg. And that's a nice kick out to Grant.
Another Gentili to Grant kick.
Grant is going to the leading Waitman. This is on Coburg's terms at the moment. And Kyle Waitman is going for his second.
Well, we talked about his competitiveness in the air. He's the smallest player on the ground, is Kyle Waitman. He's now having his 4th shot for goal.
Played in Strathmore's premiership against Aberfeldy in the Essendon District a couple of years ago. This is a point, so he's missed a couple. That game, of course, Dan, that was drawn after 4 quarters, and we needed extra time to decide that one that day at Windsor Hill.
It's one of the better games of local football you'll ever see. That one of the most intriguing games.
Yeah, he was a part of that. It was Kyle Waitman for Strathmore that day. Collingwood ball here. Markov through the middle. A couple of handballs. It ends up with Long. They look to go coast to coast here, Collingwood.
Well
and they needed that.
That's Collingwood's DNA. Run and gun through the middle of the ground. Take the game on. They practice it so well. And Ned Long, the state representative, who's also being talked about, Adam, as potentially someone who could fill a position at AFL level. We know he played those, was it 5 games, I think, for Hawthorn. But Ned Long's also able to hit the scoreboard. That's one of his strengths. And 30 seconds ago, Kyle Waitman was having a shot for goal to put Coburg 13 points ahead, and now it's only a 2-point margin.
Yeah, they were staring down the barrel of 3 consecutive goals conceded there, Collingwood. Instead, they're able to bring the margin back down to just 2 points. Approaching half-time here. What an entertaining game of football this is at Piranha Park. First one of the season here. And Cooper Keogh did well to get the handball out. Bromell took some late contact. That should be a downfield free kick for Will Bella.
And you heard my little noise there. That was just I think I'm going to join the Cooper Keogh fan club when I get home, because I'm just so impressed by his physicality in the middle of the ground. I watched him against Williamstown last week. I thought he was competitive, but he's taken it to a new level today.
2 years ago, he was playing C-grade footy in the Essendon District for Coburg Districts, went across to Strathmore in that A-grade comp, and now he's doing very good things at VFL level as Bella misses here. Played some footy at VFL level for North Melbourne last year, did Cooper Keogh. Timekeepers, have they gone early with the siren here? There you go, just to confirm it. They led by 1 point at quarter time, Coburg. They now lead by 3 at the main break, 6-8-44 to 6-5-41, Dan Winkle. Can Coburg break their 23-game losing streak in Smithies VFL? Gentili's kick will go high, but not all that far, and underneath it is Bytel for Collingwood.
Another stoppage to Coburg. That's 24-9. Josh Fraser would be putting it on this Collingwood midfield.
Lane with the short pass, and it's now in the hands of Long. Kicked a nice goal late in that second quarter. It was a much-needed one when Coburg had all the momentum. And this man's put on a show as well, Jack Hutchinson, in the first half, Dan.
He's had some moments, hasn't he, Jack Hutchinson?
Great mark, 2 goals in this game. And a lot of attention on him right now as we go inside 50. Coburg trying to get this ball back out as Beasley will chip one over the top. Just placed it nicely for Carigliano. Gave off the quick handball, and Coburg rebounds off half-back, although just underneath this ball for Collingwood. And he'll send it back to where it came from. Right on 50. It's a game of kick-to-kick out there. Cooper Keogh now has it.
So prominent in that first half was Cooper Keogh in all aspects. He was winning the hit-outs, he was following up, now he's taking marks in defence, and they're on here.
Markov going
well
back
done
against Waitman, did well Markov. The ball's going to stay in play though, Waitman gets it back. Markov was with him the entire time, spun him in the tackle and forced a stoppage.
Credit to Oleg Markov there. Kyle Waitman was off to the races, but a great tackle, a nice spoil, a good moment there for Collingwood. It's been their defenders for me who have shined so far in this game. Markov, Glover, Campbell Lane. They need a lift from their midfield.
Out toward Ernst. Was there holding there in the square? It's going to go Collingwood's way. Glover to claim it. Glover had it on a string throughout that first half. This is disposal number 16. Coming up for the Collingwood skipper.
So 35 inside 50s to Coburg, for only 19 to Collingwood. Collingwood have been reasonably efficient when they've got it in there, but they probably just haven't got it in there enough.
Glover ran around Ernst and then went back toward the square. There was some sort of infringement in the marking contest, and it's going to be a Collingwood ball coming back here. Aidan Begg has the ball in his hands. Jaff was asking for the handball. Little chip up. Wilson. Nobody really standing the mark for Coburg. Now Richards. We have seen some tempo footy at times from Collingwood today, Dan, just trying to establish some control of it. McRae took it and went. It was a low ball. Perhaps not expecting it to land there. It was Galvin. And then on ground level was Dammersmith. The free kick will come back to him. So Coburg led by less than a goal at both quarter time and half time. This is a dangerous situation. Galvin goes in. Pressure being applied there by Parker. Ball does come out. Allen. Hand pass in toward the hot spot. Richards tried to run onto the ball but left it behind. Dammersmith, Galvin. Underground. Flat to the handball there by Trudgeon to Carigliano. Coburg will dump it back out. Ernst has a 2-on-1 and the numbers there, 1 out. Ended up back in Dean's hands. Goes inboard Markov. Been very good since quarter time, Oleg Markov. Saw something he liked on the outer side, but that was a 2-on-1 situation there for Hutchinson. D'Antino Sante tried to draw Bamel to that ball and he couldn't get it. Lane got it back for Collingwood. Wilson. Giath now. Nice little one for Hutchinson, too far out to score. 2 goals to his name today. McRae was the targeting board. He couldn't take the mark. It came to ground as Wilson quickly handball back out. Begg got a boot to it. Ernst had it and lost it. Still a chance here for the Pies. Long had it and lost it. Ball up. Right on 50. Wilson taken to ground straight away. No prior.
It's that uncontested style of play that Collingwood continue with.
Keogh might have been manhandled in the ruck. No, the umpire says he gave away the free kick.
Oh, wow.
Much to his shock,
Okay.
Aidan Begg will claim it. Does he have the leg in him?
You might think he does, Adam, but I beg to differ.
Thank you, Dan. Hasn't kicked one this year in Smithy's VFL.
Ooh.
Looks okay. It might just fall a little bit short. Punch through for the Rush.
So if you were to put a shekel on this, Adam, I just do not know which way I would go. Tight game.
2-point ball game at the moment. Coburg, for them it's been nearly 2 years since their last win. Trudgeon goes to ground tears, wrapped up by multiple Magpies. It was a Sunday afternoon, late in July in 2022, Dan, and it was at Mars Stadium in Ballarat. Coburg defeated Geelong that day, late in the 2022 season. They've not won a game since in Smithy's VFL. What an opportunity this is in front of their home fans today. Arguably one of their bigger home games in quite some time. There's the AFL's reigning premier, and that was a dangerous tackle. Jaff not happy with that tackle from Hugo Bromell. And slow to get up is Finn McRae.
Once again, I think Hugo Bromell was involved in a similar tackle in the first quarter. Just got to watch that action. That is a dangerous action. So, as we know at AFL level, they're right on top of that.
And in VFL level as well, there's already been a few incidents cited this year at match review level here in the Smithies VFL. Begg has the ball again. Same distance stand, a bit more angle. Decides not to go for home this time. That is plucked nicely by Keogh. He is showing a lot, Cooper Keogh, today. Beasley, Bromell. Aside from those couple of tackles that resulted in free kicks against, has been good today. Another touch for Bromell. Dammer Smith fumbling, needs to get the hand pass out and did. Bromell goes inboard, Walker fumbled, then took some body from Oleg Markov. Good to see McRae still out there, lays the tackle here.
So when they looked up, Coburg, all they saw were Collingwood defenders folding back, so they had to use and implement that run and carry style of football, because behind the football you had Charlie Dean, you had Sam Glover just waiting for the miss kick.
Wilson taken to ground by Gentili.
Geez, this has been a really interesting battle, hasn't it? This battle between the two ruckmen and Cooper Keogh and Aidan Begg.
Loose ball available, Wilson against Bromell. Wilson got there first. Tried to feed that handball out to Allen, but it didn't work out for Collingwood on that occasion. Bromell affecting the contest was Parker. Did well just to neutralise the footy. There's a number of bodies over the top of the Sharon.
Yeah, big tick to Will Parker there to be able to prevent Hugo Bromell from taking that mark. He hasn't had many disposals as Parker, but I like his defensive pursuits, particularly in the air.
A high-intensity game. This one, it feels like a final, Dan, at the moment. Just with the good weather, big crowd. A high-drawing opponent for Coburg to play host to here at Piranha Park.
In terms of VFL crowds, this is one of the biggest ones I've seen. I know we've got not too many games of football here on Sunday in Melbourne.
Bromell received the handball, just got pushed off his kick. It will bounce before going out of play. So that's not a bad result for Coburg.
A great result for the Coburg Football Club in terms of revenue through the gate, canteen, etc. They missed out 2 weeks ago when the game was moved by the Merribeck City Council. They lost a lot of income, something that teams like this just can't afford.
The biggest lead in this game either way has been 10 points so far. That belonged to Collingwood. Coburg had an 8-point lead. Bailey went toward the square. No mark taken. Trudgeon lays a tackle on McDonald. Ball did come out late. Sparks then with the follow-up tackle. Umpire letting all of this go for quite some time.
I'd love to be a fly on the wall in the Coburg rooms. Do they address what you've talked about their last win late in 2022, or do they just know how much it means?
Keogh nearly pushed out of it. It happened right in front of the umpire, and the big man gets a look at goal. He has been outstanding today, Cooper Keogh. What a get he has been across from North Melbourne's VFL list.
Just been so competitive. How many free kicks has he won? He just puts his head over the footy. For a big guy, follows up. He wins his own ball. Not sure what he's like shooting for goal, but
said it in the first quarter, Dan, as well. 2 years ago, he was playing for a club called Coburg Districts, who are in the 3rd division of the Essendon District League.
Jeez.
Won the League B&F that year as well. That like landed him at Strathmore, which also landed him at North Melbourne VFL, and now for Coburg VFL.
Wow.
He's having a massive impact. And he extends their lead. And for the second time today, it's Coburg by 8 points over Collingwood.
Have a look at his stats. He's had 16 disposals and kicked the goal. The big man. Hayden Begg's got his work cut out here today. I know his partner in crime, Oscar Steen, isn't playing today with injury. Suffered last week against Carlton, but the young man Begg, he's got a real challenge. It looks like Liam Purcell will take this ruck contest against Keogh, but wow, 16 disposals and a goal. Just having an absolute day out.
This might turn out to be a special day for Coburg if they can keep this up. And it's formidable opposition. Collingwood down by 8 points with AFL listed players out here, 11 of them in total today. Bounce down to restart. Just a little hold there potentially on Bailey. Wilson just trying to lift for his side at the moment. Ball will eventually spill out to Long. Long, low ball inside 50. No mark there was taken. Well done, Carmichael. Kicked one in the first. Does not get one here in the third.
That's the second time he smashed his foot through the ball. Carmichael at that end. In the first quarter he kicked a goal and graces the post on that occasion.
Don Tui had a good day as well so far, Tui. Disposal number 15 for him. Keogh and Ernst were both in that marking contest for Coburg. Ernst gets it now. Hand pass came out. Couple of handballs, McKenzie and now Carigliano. The switching ball from Rigoni is good. And some space on the outer side for Rowland. This is Bella. Some tempo from Coburg for the time being. Rowland has it once more. 7 point lead for the Lions.
Real challenge here. Can they bring the ball to ground? Oh, well done.
McDonald did well. Gave it off to Sparks. Vital. Inboard kick looking for Johnson. Carigliano got in his way. Now Rowland gets it. Carigliano chipping for Grant. Tried to reel it in. McDonald there.
Yeah, just another shout out to Cooper McDonald, the Rowville Premiership player. Tall defender. Well, he's not a tall defender, but he plays as a tall defender. He can mark the ball for a medium-sized defender.
Purcell in ruck against Grant. Grant picked it up off the deck there, gave off the handball, and Gentili sends Coburg into attack once more. Front position there, but no mark taken. Dean, the tackle then laid on Willis as soon as he got the ball.
But once again, Caleb Burns, he just crashed the pack then. He's just hurt a Collingwood defender. I mean, he's just so competitive.
Willis, Allen, Bramell gets a hand on it. Rowland left it behind. Umpire says holding the ball. Free kicks and Bronxies as Collingwood get a free kick here. Inboard we go. Parker. Out wide, Wilson. It goes over his head. Cariliano then picks it up and runs away from Wilson. Takes a bounce on the boundary line. Cariliano. Left foot ball in Ernst territory. Big fist from Bella. Gillard can't keep it in.
This looks really sharp and dependable down there as their captain, Jess Carigliano. Stalwart of the Coburg Football Club.
For those playing along at home, the free kick count is 16 apiece here at Piranha Park at the moment. Ernst looking to apply some pressure on Dean. Collingwood keep it in play. Punched away from Kennedy and into the crowd it goes. The big defensive effort by Dintino Sante.
Well, they're up and about this Coburg crowd. You can just sense the players are getting a whiff of it and responding accordingly.
Right on the paint of 50. Coburg get another goal here to be their biggest lead of the game all round. Right now it is 7 points. Holding the ball, free kick Coburg.
Yeah, correct decision, tried to take him on for the second time and was caught.
So it's in the hands of Liam Sarong. Bella gave up on his initial lead. Sarong holds on to the footy. Ernst again underneath this ball. Bella tries to push his man underneath. Maybe a chance for Grant. Couldn't get his hand pass out. And the ball is cleared out. Back out toward this near side of the ground. Long did well. But then the handball was missed by Kennedy. He got held onto. Another Bronxy again. The free kick count is now in Collingwood's favour. That was a big moment in the game. Coburg can't capitalise though. Bramell gave out the handball. Kick was then smothered. Ricochets out toward the pocket. Ernst trying to keep it alive. McDonald ended up with the ball, dumped it out to where there was a bit of space on the outer side. Wilson controlled it nicely at ground level. Some poise here from Collingwood. Willis over some heads. Sturgis taking on Crocker. Got the handball out. Beasley was there to help. It goes out of bounds.
That was excellent.
Collingwood get away with it.
Excellent by the veteran Tom Wilson there, number 56 for Collingwood. It was a 3-on-1 there on the outer side. He was just so clean with his hands. He was able to get Collingwood out of a bit of pain there.
Purcell against Grant. Grant ended up with front position. Bytel will pick it up. Or will he? He just kept running away from him.
Starting to come into the game is Jack Bytel. Only had the 8 disposals to half-time, now up to 13. But they still need more from their midfielders. Finn McRae with 14. Carmichael only 8. And Ed Allen, he's only had 7 disposals for the game.
Gentili's clearing ball. Wasn't quite marked there by Trudgeon. Oleg Markov there to clean it up. Dean switching ball. No mark taken there, but did well on the recovery. Carmichael did brilliantly, in fact. Parker, Markov, hand pass towards Sparks. He got taken high. Free kick Collingwood.
Not sure about these Bronx cheers, Adam. Collingwood have actually had more free kicks.
Yeah, they're now
game.
leading the free kick count by 2. In the first Bronx cheer, it was level. Markov. Indecisive. Short for Carmichael. Kicked a goal in the first quarter. Did Josh Carmichael. Big fly again. That was Farron. Between he and Hutchinson, we've seen some decent goes at marks today. Hutchinson did bring one down in the second quarter. One straight kick in this game. We've already, well, it's only the third quarter, Dan, but we've already had a draw today in the VFL.
He's a human highlight reel is Patrick Farron. We just haven't seen it at this level. It's his first game today, but certainly with the Fitzroy Stars and back home at Bridgetown in Western Australia.
15 disposals now coming up for Donovan Tui. Ernst underneath this ball as is Dean over the top. Trying to kill it off there was Purcell. Markov involved again. Glover Thought about giving it to Markov, holds on to the ball, takes on the tackler, does get his kick out in time, and there were Magpies everywhere there. Richards has it. Joe Richards. Begging for the ball in board was Allen, but the kick was overcooked. Coburg then had the extra number. Gillard did well. The kick out wide. Ballard didn't get a good bounce. Bytel again. Hand pass for Sparks. McDonald. Pies in attack. Cariliano underneath. It slips through his hands. Picked up by Farrant. One way then the other. Farrant. Right football is on its way now. It'll land across the face and through for Collingwood's 9th behinds of the game.
Yeah, I think he probably should have just hooked that kick around a little bit more, Patrick Farrant, to the top of the square there. Maybe he just saw the goals and his eyes lit up. Yeah, so Jess Cariliano probably just need to kill that ball if you're going to fly there, Jess.
Ernst just takes that mark in time. Boundary umpire had a good look at it. We've liked what we've seen from Caleb Ernst, haven't we, Dan? You've seen Coburg a couple of times this year.
Yeah, he's becoming my new favourite player very quickly, is Caleb Ernst.
Well picked up by Begg. And then the backward kick from Dean was good. Glover. Jaff. Wilson, the next target over the top. Rigoni gets in the way, though, and it's a Coburg ball once more. As Gentili goes with the lateral pass to Sturgis. Rowland. Gillard the target. Getting across there. Willis affecting it. McDonald gets it back for Collingwood. Bytel. That kick no good. Sturgis gets it again.
Yeah, it's a game of turnovers at the moment. We're 21 minutes into this third quarter. I think we've only had the one goal, have we, in this quarter, Adam? Maybe two?
Yeah, just the one for Coburg.
Yeah,
that's
just
it.
the one goal. So a lot of errors.
That was kicked by Kupakio, who is nearly marking the ball here. They will get the clearance, the Lions. Ernst underneath it, and he clunks it. Wants to give off the handball quickly. Chance for McKenzie. Kick on the way. Misses.
Ooh. Look, I know he took that mark against a relatively inexperienced defender in Will Parker, but Caleb Ernst's body use in the marking contest, it's just so impressive. It's like he's been at the level for 2 or 3 years. So, yeah, keep a watch on him.
Disposal number 9 for Jaff. I'm surprised he's only on 9, Dan. I think he's had more than that. Won't question champions Ardo, though. Rigoni. Little kick is beautiful there by Tui. He has been excellent today. And Joel Trudgeon, the only thing he's not done today is kick a goal. He's been lighting up the stat sheet in his first 2 appearances for Coburg so far this year. Today he's got 15 disposals, 4 inside 50s, 4 clearances. That was his first mark. And he's got nothing on the score sheet just yet to give Coburg a game-high 12-point lead.
He's got it!
They lead by 2 straight kicks at Piranha Park into time on of the third quarter.
And for me, if they're going to win this game, Coburg, it's going to be through their ball use. They've had plenty of opportunity, and if Ben Rigoni can kick the ball into the 50 like that again, like we've seen Flynn Gentili do on a number of occasions today, then they'll give themselves an opportunity. But if they panic and hack kick it in there, they'll be picked off. Collingwood's best 3 or 4 players are probably Glover and Charlie Dean and maybe Jaff. So you've got to make these Collingwood defenders defend. So really well done. Love that kick by Ben Rigoni.
$12-point ball game.
Look at Cooper. He's prancing around like Crackers Keenan here at the centre clearance. He's up and about.
He grabs it out of the ruck as well there, Dan, but gave the handball to an under-pressure Bailey. What's the umpire say here? Holding, free kick, Coburg. Bailey to take it. In the bright green boots. The left foot ball inside 50. No mark is taken there. Tackled immediately was Henry Brown.
He doesn't often kick the ball, Luke Bailey. That's number 1 in the midfield. He tends to have a handball to kick ratio of 2 or 3 to 1. So when he gets his opportunity, just make sure he utilises his kicks to his team's benefit.
Ball spilled out quickly there. Gentili gets it very high toward the square. 2 pies against Ernst on that occasion. Carmichael sees it out in front of the race, the famous Coburg race. July 21, 2022. That was the last time Coburg won a game in Smithy's VFL.
They're just thrashing them into clearances, 35-12.
That's been the case since the very start of the game, and this man's a key reason why Cooper Keogh ended up with Allen Handpass. Just in hope, though. Goal fairway, Walker.
Oh, well done.
Riding the bump there, Galvin. Lions in attack once more. Ernst only went up with one hand, and the shark from Dintino Sante. Coburg by 3 goals. Josh Dintino Sante has 2. And Coburg has a game-high 18-point lead.
And Reece Galvin just treated Ben Crocker with disrespect then. He built like a brick outhouse, is Reece Galvin, and just fended him off. Got the ball into 50, and we talked about Coburg. If they can get the ball to ground, they are so dangerous. With guys like Waitman and Dintin Asante, who's kicking second, they're starting to reap the rewards of their ability to win the ball at the stoppage. I just feared that potentially they weren't able to capitalise on all of their opportunities, but now they've kicked goals in quick concession. They're out to an 18-point lead.
They've kicked 5 of the last 6 goals and the only 3 goals of this third quarter, Coburg. And they lead by a margin of 18 as we speak, as we creep towards three-quarter time. Keogh then just getting the front position there. I think it was Johnson potentially in ruck there for Collingwood. Free kick holding the ball. It's going to go Collingwood's way. To be taken by Ed Allen. It's a high one. Staying down was Begg, resting forward. Walker rushes the behind. Collingwood really need the next goal now.
They do. You say that, I think, because Coburg are just up and about here. They've got the momentum.
Ernst getting a shove. Free kick advantage paid. Brown has had a push there on Waitman. Free kick given away by Jaff. Waitman in board for Walker. Had a good start to this game, Walker. Has had it 12 times. 7 of those were in the first quarter. Waitman. Big fly from Grant. Here's Cooper Keogh. Gave it off to Gillard. It's a one-on-one inside 50 here. Dintino Sante had to defend though. And the ball bounces into the hands of Hutchinson. The kick out to space. In go Dammer-Smith. Taking on Begg. Had the help. Rigoni slipping over. Gets away from Campbell Lane. Good recovery. Went inboard to Galvin. Looking to switch for Walker. Coming late to affect the contest there, Parker, but Walker held on to it. Gave off that handball. Little chipping ball from Gillard is good. Trudgeon. Lead on offer in the pocket. Ends up with Bella.
We talk about some of the attributes of Coburg that have improved over the summer. Their ability to compete in their 50, their ability to compete at the stoppage. But I've got to give them credit with respect to their ball use. They've actually made some really good decisions today. And that last minute of play where they worked the ball from one side of the ground to the other, that was elite. Hats off.
This is for 4 in a row and 4 unanswered in this third quarter. Will Balla is goalless today. And he remains that way. Not far away from being Coburg's 4th of the quarter.
Looked like it was going to curl around there, but perhaps just got there too early and one behind.
Just fell over the top of the goalpost there. Here's Farrant. Didn't get a decent jump at it. Wilson. Collingwood have done this a few times today. They're going to go coast to coast. Allen's kick for Crocker. Crocker's going to pick it up now. Was he taken high? Umpire said no. It's a ball up, and that's the three-quarter time siren. So Collingwood will not get a chance to score late. They are up and about.
At least neutralise it in the midfield.
Final term underway. Keogh beats Purcell in the ruck, but it will be a Collingwood clearance. McRae sending a high one inside 50. No mark could be taken there between Farrant and Crocker. They might have gotten in each other's way. Walker drew the ball nicely into Sarong's arms. Sarong out toward Ernst, but he didn't jump for the ball, stayed down. Collingwood ball here at ground level, but the hand pass too hot for Long. Trajan somehow got boots of ball there, lucky not to get pinged.
You called
Fashion
that
to
well,
kick out of nothing there,
Adam. You called that well. He was a little bit lucky. He might have just got his toe to the ball.
Reward for effort, I think, there. The umpire deciding to pay that as a legal disposal. Some repeat stoppage to start this final term in the square.
But at least they've had a small win, Collingwood, winning that first centre clearance.
Keogh again with the tap down. It's been close to best on today, Cooper Keogh. Collingwood is inside 50, but they don't have possession. Tui's kick out toward Rowland is good. Tui's been excellent as well. He's had 26 disposals. Rowland, Bella up against Dean there, goes back in. Parker applies some pressure. As did Brown, ball up. Josh Fraser keeping a long extended huddle at three-quarter time. Dan, what do you think the instruction was there from the Collingwood coach?
Well, I think, as I spoke about, if they can neutralise or even at least win some clearance, they know they're a chance, because we know in that first half in particular, if they get the ball into 50, they can score. They've only had 28 inside 50s and scored 16 times. So if they can get the ball in there, we know they're dangerous.
McRae trying to work his way into the game. Bytel has had a fair bit of it on that outer wing. Lane. Johnson has not had it much at all. Wouldn't even give that a disposal for Ash Johnson. Stumped back out by Beasley into the middle of the ground. Waitman, big fist there from behind by Dean, but ended up in Gentili's hands. Coburg going inside 50, a fairly empty one at that. Ball just keeps on bouncing, keeps on bouncing. Rushed through soccer style by Glover.
See, I've known Kyle Waitman for a little while and watched him play, but he's improved his ability above his head. I always knew him as a crumbing player, but he's, for a small man, he's just been able to compete in the air.
Sturgis has it for Coburg. Pointing long. Coburg holding on to its biggest lead of the game so far today. Bella jumped at it. Not a really realistic attempt at it, though. Carmichael with it for Collingwood. Farrant's underneath this ball. Takes it nicely. Read it well in that one-on-one against Hammersmith. Farrant, low data in toward the middle of the ground. Worked out okay. Purcell kept on going. Crocker with space fumbles, but it might not matter. Crocker. Kick is going through. Collingwood get the much-needed first goal of the final term. For Ben Crocker, it's his second of the day. And Collingwood's first goal since the 28-minute mark of the second quarter.
And well done, Patrick Farrant there. I think he understands that's the way Collingwood want to play, that Russian roulette almost style of game where they bring the ball back through the middle of the ground. It paid off on that occasion, and I just get the feeling that someone like Ben Crocker is the one who might put his hand up and be the most dangerous player on the ground for Collingwood. Big job for Reece Galvin.
13-point lead for Coburg. A bit more windy now, Dan. I mentioned at the start of the game it was pretty still here, but it's picked up a bit. We've seen some rather easy misses at both ends of the ground, particularly left of screen, the Bell Street end of the ground throughout the day today. It's a bit blustery now here on what remains a sunny day at Piranha Park. Brummel gets around Lane. Had a bit more trouble getting around Bytel, but did get the hand pass out. The long ball goes inside 50, and it's taken by Dean. Averaging 17 disposals in his previous 3 appearances in the VFL, Charlie Dean this year. Markov perhaps didn't know the pressure was coming. All is okay. Did get the ball back as Collingwood look to use the corridor. They've done this a few times today to Pies on the quick break. Handball import from Allen was good. Markov, Begg, got it out there to Richards. Pies in attack once more. Johnson doesn't fall into his arms. Doing well, Sturgis for Coburg. Then got to the ball first. Hutchinson then tackled him high. Free kick, Lions.
But it just shows Collingwood's ability to be able to move the ball quickly from deep in their defence to their forward line. They need to be onto that, Coburg.
Sturgis has had a good second half. Over some heads, Begg couldn't take the mark. The Interno Sante kicked a great goal in the third quarter. Sarong pushed off his kick, half forward. Bella bounces into his arms now. Gave out the handball. Grant, nice little sidestep by Sam Grant. Kick, though, was just missed there by Carmichael. Chance here for Coburg to pounce. It's Gentili. It's a left footer. It's a point.
I love Ben Rigoni's competitiveness. He can turn 50-50 balls into wins for Coburg.
Corridor footy, another big fly there. No mark taken this time, though, by Farrett. Coburg with the chance once more. McKenzie, Bailey, off-balance kick. Perhaps should have gone on the right boot.
It's probably not the man you want to be kicking for goal. He is a little bit of an unusual and awkward kick, is Luke Bailey.
So, out of side, Bytel did the full 360, then tapped it on the ground before giving it out by hand. Lane goes inboard and finds Allen. He's thinking about going to Markov, but the kick is wayward. And now McDonald has a task here against McKenzie. Picked up by Bella. Rowland's been good for the Lions. Little chipper over the top. It's going to land in space and bounce nicely for Carmichael. He takes a bounce. Again, the Collingwood want to go through the corridor. Long going inside 50. Goes over the head of Richards. Chance here out the back. Johnson just got his hand passed out there. Eventually, it did end up in McRae's hands. Got tackled immediately.
Yeah, they had an outnumber here, Coburg, on this wing, bringing it into their 50, but Tom Rowland kick just fell in between 2 or 3 teammates, and the Pies were able to sweep the ball away.
Chicken wing tackle there on Rigoni meant that he couldn't dispose of it. No prior. Keogh grabbing it out of the ruck, as is his MO today. He'll do battle in ruck once more. Begg will be his opponent. Nothing happening here.
So Charlie Dean playing as a loose behind the ball here. He's been able to take a number of marks today, as is Sam Glover, when Coburg dumped the ball in or dump it in without method. So if they can use the ball well, Coburg, they're a real chance.
Coburg has led for the entirety of the second half. They've led at all 3 breaks today. Collingwood's lead as much as 10 points in the first half. Right now it's 14.
Boys, get one here, boys!
Enjoyable game of footy, this one, on afl.com.au and the AFL Live official app. One of the standalones about to pull an upset against an AFL powerhouse. Bytel. Carmichael. No mark taken. It comes to ground. Carmichael, though, sharked it. Only went as far as Beasley. Big fist on the ball there by Jaff. Ended up in Coburg hands anyway. Bromell. Gentili, little chipper for McKenzie. The Interno Sante. Fumbled at the wrong moment there. Begg got a boot in. Markov. He'll pick it up now, Oleg. Lane gets it back to Markov, looking to switch it. This is Kennedy. Just stood still there and looked for some options at halfback. Went short to Carmichael. Down the line ball. Pies have been really keen to use the corridor today. Rigoni. Bailey, Rowlands. A one-on-one ball here. Bella up against McDonald, then coming very late was Charlie Dean. Pies need the next goal here down, otherwise the clock is going to become an issue for them.
Yeah, once again, Charlie Dean takes the mark deep in defence. Coburg would have been hoping for Will Balla to be able to back into that contest and bring the ball to ground. So they're setting up really well behind the ball, Collingwood.
There's a blood rule here, that's why we've got a stoppage in play. D'Intino Sante in the hands of the trainers now. Bit of claret coming out of the mouth, apparently. And play will now resume. Casual bounce there by Parker before disposing out toward Long. Here's Farrett, won't quite land anywhere near him. Beasley was there for Coburg. That's a man in the middle of Piranha Park, that's McKenzie. Out wide for Bella, the kick is nicely placed. Pretty open 50. Bella chipping in board, and coming across was Hugo Brummel.
That all started from a lovely kick out of defence by Jess Curigliano. Love his ball use today. Will Balla was on then for a good 5 or 10 seconds. Able to be spotted out of the corner of his eye.
If this goes through, it would be too early to call it a sealer. But boy, it would go a long way to handing Coburg the win. Hugo Brummel had 25 touches against Williamstown. Yet to kick a goal in season 2024. Until now! 20-point lead for Coburg.
Well, I thought Collingwood were coming. They were looking dangerous off half-back. They were rebounding. They were getting the ball into their 50, but the Coburg defence has stood up today. And they've been able to move the ball from one end to the ground as well. Not only can Collingwood do it, but we know Coburg have traditionally been able to change the angles on their opponents. And with 41-14 in clearances, they're well on top of Collingwood in a number of departments today.
They've led for the entirety of the second half, Coburg. And now Collingwood is desperate. Is there a 666 warning going against Collingwood here? Looks like there was. And the ball is always thrown up after a 666 warning. They get the clearance again. Coburg have dominated in that area today. It was Bailey getting it in toward 50, but Collingwood get it back. Parker. Neat little kick out wide for Carmichael.
He's really impressive above his head is Will Parker.
As is Farrant, couldn't take it there. Here's Keogh, he's doing some crumbing, the big man. Gillard. Trudgeon had a good first half in particular. Sarong. Lions again go inside 50. McDonald with the elaborate fist on the ball.
Up to 19 disposals is Cooper Keogh. Admittedly, I haven't seen too much of him, but I'd love to have a chat with someone, perhaps someone at North Melbourne, who can tell me a little bit about why his opportunities were limited. Is it just that he's a big man developing into his own body, and we know that can happen at times?
Just being a VFL listed ruck for an AFL aligned team can be tricky to get regular footy, I guess. It's as simple as that. There's a shot at goal from Bailey.
Oh!
26-point ball game for Coburg. Luke Bailey has his first. Now we are getting close to game over territory.
Now, was that Luke Bailey, Adam? I've challenged him with his kicking.
Can confirm it was.
But good on him. Well done. He's kicked a goal just when they needed it. He's a beast when the ball is in his area.
He just hunts the football, and I know I keep on talking about it, but Bailey, Bromell and Trudgeon, along with the big man and Cooper Keogh, they have just stood up today in the middle of the ground for Coburg.
July 31, 2022, on a lonely Sunday afternoon up in Ballarat against Geelong. That was the last time Coburg won a game in Smithy's VFL, and they're on the verge of breaking a 23-game losing streak.
Oh, well done.
They may be a goal away from truly sealing it. Ernst got that hairball out. It's going to be Braden Gillard on the right foot. Braden Gillard has probably sealed it for Coburg. Party time at Piranha Park.
Well, I've just looked at the Coburg bench. Charlie Beasley's just like he's won a grand final. Ryan Sturgis is jumping up and down like he's at a nightclub. It's unbelievable. They're 32 points up. You don't know what this means for Coburg supporters. They haven't seen a win since 2022. I was going through puberty. It's been such a long time since Coburg have won a game. And it looks like they'll bring home the chocolates tonight, Adam.
Pretty late for that, but I get what you're saying. Wow, 32-point ball game.
You get my point, though, don't you?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
I do. Wow.
But they're running on top of the ground. It's like they've got the momentum now and the confidence.
Not too long ago, Ben Crocker kicked a goal for Collingwood that just really kept this game alive, and now it feels like they're completely out of it. But Ned Long's going to try to have something to say about that. Gave it off to Willis, gets it back. Long takes on the tackler, got rid of him. High right foot outside of the boot ball, will land in the pocket. No one can mark it. They're going to remember this day around these parts for a very long time, if you're of the Coburg persuasion. What a day this has turned out to be. Their first home game at Piranha Park for the year. Boundary throw in. They should have been here Good Friday against Williamstown. They lost by a goal that day up at Highgate. Bytel, high right football, will land in the goal square. Ash Johnson got rid of his man in Beasley. Goes through for a rush behind.
Yeah, it's an interesting conversation, the Ash Johnson one for mine. Only the 2 disposals today. Do they do something a little bit different? We know he went back for a little bit in that third quarter. I think he might have taken 1 or 2 of the ruck contests, but it's just not happening for Ash right now.
Bella couldn't take it. Rowlands has been excellent. Bailey kicked a big goal a couple of minutes ago, and he gets rid of the tackler. Couldn't make it stick there long. McDonald for Collingwood. Walker's going to come late and impact on Dean. Dean couldn't take it. Well done, Walker. Goes in again, surrounded by Pies. Umpire is hovering and will call for the ball up. 31-point ball game, almost time on. Almost time up for Collingwood. They need a goal and need it quickly. And then need 4 or 5 more after that. McRae. Hand pass to Wilson. Has some space, Wilson. Johnson will run onto this ball. Johnson! That's a good mark. But the important thing now is that he kicks the goal.
That's impressive, because despite the day he's had, he's still willing to run and jump at the ball, and that's his strength. He's an elite mark. It's a full credit to Ash Johnson for having the confidence to take a catch like that. Well done.
Cannot afford to miss it. Has been quiet today, Ash Johnson. Margins 31 before the kick. He whittles that down to 25, and there's a pulse for the Pies.
Well, normally I would perhaps query whether there is a pulse, Adam, but we know that the style of play that Collingwood have is conducive to being exciting or creating close games.
And direct as well.
Yeah, they're direct.
When they do use the ball.
Yeah.
But you're right, they like the close ones. Won by a point last week.
So they will just take the game on here, and they've trained it, so they know how to do it. So it'll be a challenge for Coburg here.
Collingwood had a 666 warning already from that last centre bounce here, Dan. There's a bit of confusion. Richards runs in now. All is okay. Can't get the basics right, the Pies here, it would seem. All is okay. Bounce down in the middle. Coburg by 25 points here. Allen outside of the right boot and put himself in great position to take that mark, did Sturgis. And Coburg will start playing some clock.
Yeah, I just get the feeling now, yes, you're right, they will suck up some time here.
Sarong inboard for Walker. Gentili's had some big moments today, as has this man Hugo Bramell, including a goal in the last quarter, as has this man Gillard. Kick is on the way, and it is missing.
Maybe I was wrong, because that run and carry there was very impressive. Oh, we're still willing to try and score as quickly as they can, Coburg.
Dean going straight down the guts here for Collingwood. Ball comes to ground. Parker missed his handball. Bramell got it back for Coburg. It goes inside 50. Waitman against McDonald. And then out the back it was Ernst against Glover. McDonald did well to recover. Sends a high kick up in the air. It's a finger breaker and it hits the deck. Ended up in Carmichael's hands. Someone's lost a boot back there as Carmichael. It goes past Wilson. Beasley been strong in the second half. Trudgeon. Look at the space out here for Sarong, although it's a wicked bounce. And Campbell Lane was there to greet him. It trickled back toward the wing. Lane just got a kick away. McRae quick to get it out to Markov. Oleg Markov, has that gone the required distance for Parker? It has. Collingwood need a goal. Sparks. Handball off to McRae. Crocker territory. Didn't go for it, Crocker. Mark was then missed by Galvin. Galvin goes in again. Campbell Lane takes the mark inside 50. So Ash Johnson kicked the last one a couple minutes ago. Campbell Lane, who is goalless today, must kick this one for the Pies. Goal for Collingwood. 2 in a row. She might not be over yet at Piranha Park.
Well, traditionally, there are some long quarters in the VFL, and we've seen 36 and 37-minute quarters at times this year. Now, just looking at the number of goals scored in this last quarter, there's been, 6 goals. So, yeah, potentially there's some time left on the clock.
Some nervous times right now for Jamie Cassidy McNamara. That's a mouthful, isn't it? Jamie Cassidy McNamara. There's a bit there, Dan, to process, but I'll spat it out eventually.
It's a little bit like Vivian Blackmore-Moore, who played for Collingwood last year. That was a bit of a mouthful.
Margin 20 points. Can Collingwood mount a late resurgence here and steal it away from Coburg? It'd be heartbreaking if the Lions do somehow drop this from here. Gentili's ball inside 50. That's a good mark. He's been good in this last quarter, Charlie Dean. More direct footy from Collingwood, straight down back toward the middle of the grounds here. Gentili's going to leave it for D'Antino Sante. Rigoni. Some space out wide here for Gillard, and he tells his teammates to slow it down.
It's just been their ability when the ball hits the ground, Coburg. They have swarmed Collingwood today. If they can bring the ball to ground, make it a 50-50, play to their strengths.
Coburg have lost their last 23 games in Smithies VFL. Lead the biggest club in the land by 20 points with only a couple of minutes remaining. And there's a chance here. Trudgeon threw it onto the outside of the boot Markov will punch it through for a behind. That won't be of any consequence.
A smart play by Markov. That looked maybe like it was going out. He's been able to retain possession here and watch Collingwood go here.
The kick didn't go to distance for Lane there. Lane had to rush it back out toward the wing. They've got the outnumber here potentially, although Long couldn't get to the ball in time. Sturgis had it bounce into his hands nicely. Kick out wide was good for Waitman. Underneath the scoreboard that reads very kindly for Coburg. The Pies fans starting to make their way out here, some of them at least anyway. Every single Lions fan not going anywhere. They're on the verge of their first win in nearly 2 years. Kyle Waitman. Has he even got the journey from here? It was all about soaking up the 30 seconds. Misses to the near side. And again, expect this one to go straight down the middle from Jaff. Time has probably run out for Collingwood today. Goes short this time to Markov.
They're blocking the middle of the ground of the Coburg defenders. They're all standing there knowing what's going to happen.
Markov's kick into the middle of Piranha Park is marked by Hugo. Bramel's been excellent today. Disposal number 24 coming up, Dan.
Bramell was just waiting for that. He was almost standing in the middle of the ground where the umpire bounces the ball.
So he's about to become the leading ball getter on the ground here with number 30. Hasn't Ryan Sturgis been good defensively this afternoon? Disposal number 19 coming up for him. The Lions are going to win their first game since round 19 in season 2022. Jaff takes a good mark here. They lead Collingwood by 22 points as we speak. Free kick, advantage and play on for Collingwood. Into attack we go. Hutchinson's had his moments today. Nice sidestep, right football. There's a goalkeeper on the line. It's Charlie Beasley. Fell over the top of it, Sammy Draper style. After taking the mark. Walker. It'd be fitting if the siren goes here and now in front of most of the Coburg faithful, in front of the race here. Long kick goes down the line. McDonald takes the mark for Collingwood.
Well done, really liked his game.
Handball off to Parker in his first appearance. It goes high inside 50. And that's another good mark for Ash Johnson. Took a ripper earlier in this last quarter. Kicked a goal after that one, but the angle was not as difficult as this one is. Goes with the banana. Didn't hit it with the right sort of angle.
Look at him, and I understand with Lockie Sullivan going out of this team, Harvey Harrison, Sullivan, who's just a prolific ball winner and a tough midfielder, potentially used as insurance for the Anzac Day clash. So they're missing a key midfielder, but regardless, Coburg have just smacked him in the midfield today, so full credit to them.
McRae, Bytel, back to McRae, tackled, Carmichael, full 360 and the right foot kick at goal. Johnson flying from behind, it fell to Hutchinson, looking for the handball options, got spun in the tackle, ball went up in the air, Galvin there for Coburg. Ends up with D'Antino Sante with the head tape around his head. Collingwood asking for intent here, if it even falls out, it does. And they do get the free kick for sufficient intent. And they turn it right over. Braden Gillard has the ball. 29 minutes into the final term. Coburg about to claim their first win in 24 attempts. It was against Geelong in Ballarat in round 19 2 seasons ago. They won that one by 44 points against the Cats. Inside 50 we go for Collingwood. And Aidan Begg takes the mark. What a day this is for the Lions faithful.
Well, you mentioned potentially going into the social clubs after the game, the social rooms after the game, and there it is!
We'll wait for the Aidan Begg kick here. He kicks the late goal for Collingwood. But Coburg has conquered Collingwood at Piranha Park. Their first